Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Krishna 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 Hare Ram
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare
Dasya Vaitangana
Hare
Hare Krishna
चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर
Vaitangana
श्रीवासादि
Shavati
गौरभक्त
Sambhavana Bhaktivinoda
हरे
Hare Krishna
हरे कृष्ण एवरीवन
Hare Krishna Krishna
Over to you, Prabhu. Yes, thank you.
हरे कृष्ण एवरीवन So today is 27th of February. It is a Tuesday and it is Phalguna Masa or Govinda Masa, Krishna Paksham and Tadiya Tithi. So there are no explanations today. So we shall move on to our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Sukadeva Goswami has been explaining about a person at the end of his life. Everyone has to leave their home and then identifying himself as a spirit soul and part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then sitting in a lonely place, he has to meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, on each and every part of the Lord, all the links of the Lord, and completely absorb in the conception of Mahavishnu in a four-headed form. So that was recommending. So later on, Parikshit Maharaj, he is asking, can you please explain more details about it? How one can. So here, Sukadeva Goswami, he has keeping the mind about a person who has lived in such a way as if his body and all his paraphernalia as his own. For such a person to cleanse all this contamination, one has to do that meditation. So now Parikshit is asking more details. So now Sukadeva Goswami is further saying. So in the last Parikshit inquiry was यथा संधारिते ब्रह्मन् धारणा यत्र सम्मता यादृशी वा हरेद् आशु पुरुषस्य मनोमलम्. So, O Sukadeva Goswami, how can anyone do this meditation? How this all the contaminations will be removed from the heart by the dharana? So Parikshit is asking. Now today Sukadeva Goswami is answering to Parikshit Maharaj, saying that once he sits in a proper posture and controlling his breathings and controlled association of the people, whether it is a devotee or non-devotee. So here he has to devotees association and controlled association and controlled senses. Once he controls everything, then he has to meditate on the external energy or potencies of the Lord, external energy of the Lord. The initially it is for the Gruhamedis and who is trying to free himself from the material world. So that is today Sukadeva Goswami is saying that one has to concentrate on the Virat Rupa form of the Supreme Lord. So we are in the first canto, chapter 1 and verse number 23. Shri Sukha Uvacha जितासनो जितश्वासो जितसंगो जितेन्द्रियः स्थूले भगवतो रूपे मनः स्थिरं Manah Sandharayedhya Jitasano Jitaswaso. So Sukadeva Goswami is saying Jitasano, controlled sitting posture, Jitaswasaha, controlled breathing process, Jitasangaha, it is controlled association, Jitendriyaha, controlled senses. And then now once he controls everything, Stule Bhagavato Rupe, Stule, it is the gross matter of the um, cosmic manifestation in the Lord's creation. One is the spiritual world is there, and another one is the material world is there. Material world is made up of the Saptavarana. The universe is covered with the 7 layers. That is in the form of Stole Bhagavato Rupe Mana Sandharayedhya. And in that Virat Rupa form of the Lord, Mana Sandharayed, one has to um, meditate, sandharayet, must apply his mind using his intelligence, dhya, by intelligence. So likewise, Sukadeva Goswami is saying, Jitasano, Jitaswaso, Jitsango, Jitendriyaha, Stule Bhagavato Rupe, Man Sandharayet Dhya. So translation for this verse, um, Sukadeva Goswami answered, one should control the sitting posture, regulating the breathing process by the yogic pranayama, and thus control the mind and senses, and with intelligence apply the mind to the gross potencies of the Lord, called the Virat Rupa. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So can I request any devotees to read this purport? Maybe giving an opportunity for the new devotees. Anyone would like to read this purport? Dhiren Prabhuji, or would you like to read it? Or anyone?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. May I read it?
Yes, Mataji, please.
The materially absorbed mind of the conditioned soul does not allow him to transcend the limit of the bodily conception of self. And thus, the yoga system for meditation, controlling the sitting posture and breathing process and fixing the mind upon the Supreme, is prescribed in order to mold the character of the gross materialist. Unless such materialists are able to cleanse the materially absorbed mind, it's impossible for them to concentrate upon thoughts of transcendence. And to do so, one may fix one's mind on the gross, material, or external feature of the Lord. The different parts of the gigantic form of the Lord are described in the following verses. The materialistic men are very anxious to have some mystic powers as a result of such a controlling process. But the real purpose of yogic regulations is to eradicate the accumulated dirty things like lust, languor, avarice, and all such material contaminations. If the mystic yogi is diverted by the accompanying fits of mystic control, then his mission of yogic success is a failure, because the ultimate aim is God realization. He is therefore recommended to fix his gross materialistic mind by a different conception and thus realize the potency of the Lord. As soon as the potencies are understood to be instrumental manifestations of the transcendence, one automatically advances to the next step, and gradually the stage of full realization becomes possible for him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So here Prabhupada is explaining. So a person who has always absorbed in the bodily conception of self. So for them, it is recommended to meditate on the Virat Rupa form of the Lord. So actually, the Lord has got a spiritual body. So this initially, this Virat form, when Arjuna has seen in the Krishna's Virat form in the Kurukshetra, then he has seen so many of Lord's potencies. Arjuna was saying, Pasyami Devam Tava Deva Dehe Sarvam Sada Bhuta Vishesha Sankhan Brahmanamisham Kamalasanastam Rishim Sarvan Uragam Cha Divyan. So many demigods he was seeing in the body of Krishna, in the Virat form of Krishna, Virat Rupa of Krishna. So likewise, Arjuna was in that is the material cosmic manifestation. Arjuna was able to sit in his chariot and was able to see all the Virat form. So that is the material form. But actually, when Suta Goswami was saying to the Saunikadi sages in the beginning of the Bhagavatam itself, he says the statement, Etad drupam bhagavato hi arupasya chidapmanah maya guner virichitam mahadadibihi atmani. So actually, this is material form, Virat form. It is the Maya Gunaihi Virichitam. It is made up of the three material modes of nature. This is Mahad Adibihi Atmani. This is made up of the ingredients of the matter. But actually, Etadrupam Bhagavatohi Arupasya Chidapmanaha. But actually, the Lord has got the Chidapmanaha, his spiritual form. He doesn't have a material form. He has got a spiritual form, the original personality of Godhead. That is Krishna's form in his original abode. Goloka Vrindavana, he's always there. Goloka eva nivasati akilatma bhuto. And whenever he comes in his original body only, and he doesn't change the bodies. Even though 5,000 years ago when he appeared in his body, it is a spiritual body. There is no difference between Krishna's um, form, name, and everything else when he is in the material world or in the spiritual world. There is no difference. He is absolute personality of Godhead. So here Sukadeva Goswami is saying that one has to meditate on the Virat form of the Lord, because Gruhamedis can understand who have lived in the materialistic life, that form. So that is the initial process. So unless such materialists are able to cleanse material absorbment, it is impossible for them to concentrate upon thoughts of transcendence. And to do so, one may fix one's mind on the gross material or external feature of the Lord. So this one is the external features. What are the external features? Like this metal universe covered with the 7 layers. So from the bottom, all the 14 planetary systems are there, and all these 14 planetary systems, they exist in the body, in the lotus stem of the which is emanated from the Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. So likewise, once again that Virat form, it is mentioned comparing with the different parts of the material world later on. So here, Prabhupada is explaining that gigantic form of the Lord are described in the following verses later on. So everything is the all kinds of yogic processes. Finally, Ante Narayana Smritihi. Everything must lead. That is the final touch of all kinds, all parts of the yogic process. So that is the if he is not otherwise, this is Antakale Chamam Eva Smaran Mukva Kalevaram Yat Prayat Samadbhavam Yati Nasti Atra Samsayah. Krishna mentions that is whoever remembers at the end of his life, that is actually we need to remember Krishna only. That's why Tatsma Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Manusmara Idhyacha Maya Pita Mano Buddhe Mam Eva Shesya Samsayah. That is the ultimate thing. If he is not doing that, whatever the yogic process it is a utter failure. That yogic success is a failure. Dharma Punishupam Sam Visvaksena Katasuyaha Norpada Yejithritim Shramevihi Kevalam. All of their Shrama Evihi Kevalam. That is, it is an useless endeavor, or the labor, all the hard work. So their endeavor is good, but because they don't remember Krishna at the end of their life, all the yogic process doesn't have any values. But it will take so many lifetimes. Bahujanma vyupukvena samyak yoga samadhina. There is so many lifetimes. So he is therefore recommended to fix his gross materialistic mind by different conception and realize the potency of the Lord. So first we need to understand the potencies of the Lord. Then he will gradually come to know who is God later on and where he lives and all his address and details. So likewise, Prabhupada is explaining here. that is finally he will come to the stage of full realization becomes possible for him. That is from Srimad Bhagavatam. So Sukadeva Goswami here he is speaking to Parikshit Maharaj. One has to initially understand the material form of the Lord. Stule Bhagavato Rupe Manah Sandarayedhya. So Jitasano Jitaswaso Jitasango Jitendriya Stule Bhagavato Rupe Manah Sandarayedhya. So one has to concentrate on the material form of the Lord initially. That is from Srimad Bhagavatam. We shall move on to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today it is letter to Executive Senior Editor of Los Angeles Times, January 14th, 1970, Los Angeles. Can I request Jahnakanya Mataji? Would you like to read this?
Hare Krishna. Dear, this is the letter from Prabhupada to the Executive Senior Editor in Los Angeles Times. He's addressing an article that was put in there that was not a true picture of Krishna consciousness. So he's saying, Dear Sir, with reference to your article in the Los Angeles Times dated Sunday, the 11th of January 1970, under the heading Krishna Chant, I beg to point out that Hindu religion is perfectly based on personal conception of God or Vishnu. Impersonal conception of God is a side issue or one of the three features of God. The absolute truth is ultimately the supreme personality of Godhead. The Paramatma conception is localized aspect of his omnipresence and his impersonal conception in the aspect of his greatness and eternity. But all combined together makes the complete whole. Dr. J.F. Stahl's statement that Krishna cult is a combination of Christian and Hindu religion, as if something manufactured by the concoction, is not correct. If Christian, Mohammedan, or Buddhist religions are personal, that is quite welcome. But Krishna religion is personal from a time long, long ago when Christian, Mohammedan, and Buddhist religions had not yet come into existence. According to the Vedic conception, religion is basically made by the personal God as his laws. Can you scroll up, please, Prabhu? Yeah. According to the Vedic conception, religion is basically made by the personal God as his laws. Religion cannot be manufactured by man or anyone superior to man. Religion is the law of God only. Unfortunately, all the Swamis who came before me in this country stress the impersonal aspect of God without sufficient knowledge of personal aspect of God. In the Bhagavad Gita, therefore, it is said that only less intelligent persons consider that God is originally impersonal, but when he incarnates, he assumes a form. But Krishna philosophy, based on the authority of the Vedas, is that originally the absolute truth is the supreme personality of Godhead. His plenary expansion is present in everyone's heart, in its localized aspect, and the impersonal Brahman effulgence is the transcendental light and heat distributed everywhere. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly said that the aim of Vedic way of searching out the absolute truth is to find out the personal God. If one is satisfied only with the other aspects of the absolute truth, namely the Paramatma feature or the Brahma feature, such person is to be considered as one possessed of poor fund of knowledge. Recently, we have published our Aisha Upanishad, a Vedic literature, and in this small booklet, we have thoroughly discussed this point. Hare Krishna. So far, Hindu religion is concerned. There are millions of Hindu religion is concerned that there are millions of Krishna temples in India, and there is not a single Hindu who does not worship Krishna. Therefore, this Krishna consciousness movement is not a concocted idea. We invite all scholars, philosophers, religionists, or members of the great public to understand this movement by critical study. And if one does not seriously, one will understand, does that seriously. If one does so seriously, one will understand the sublime position of this great movement. The chanting process is also authorized. Professor Stahl's feeling of disgust in the matter of constant chanting of the holy name of Krishna is a definite proof of his lack of knowledge in this authorized movement of Krishna consciousness. Instead of turning down the request to give Kari's course credit, he, along with all other learned professors of the UC Berkeley University, should patiently hear about the truth of this authorized movement. So much needed at present is in godless. It's so much needed at present in this godless society. This is the only movement which can save the confused, frustrated younger generation. I invite all responsible guardians of this country to understand this transcendental movement and then give us all honest facilities to spread it for everyone's benefit. Sincerely, can't say the rest, Prabhu. Sincerely, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. And he sent a copy to somebody else, J.F. Stall. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much,
Srila
Mataji.
Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Any take points, Mataji?
I could try, Prabhu. What I understand Prabhupada to be addressing is because he was concerned about an article. He's responding to this article dated in January sometime under the heading Krishna Chant. He was not very happy with this the write-up. So what he was doing was trying to clarify it. So he said about he actually pointed out the misconception of Krishna consciousness, God, religion, God and religion, received from previous swamis, was because they weren't well informed. They attained poor fund of knowledge in this era, in their era, which was a long time ago. That's before his time. So he's saying here that he's explaining Hindu religion as a science which is perfectly based on personal conception of Vishnu or God. And let's see what else he's saying. He's pointing out we don't operate from whimsically, that we are actually following the Vedas, which is ancient literature spoken by God himself, and we are trying to spread the truth. But he confirms the truth that religion is made solely by the personality of God as a law. It comes as is his laws, Krishna's laws. We don't make. It's not concocted or made up. It's not manufactured by man. And he said also, because religion is the law of God, there's evidence to show that his plenary expansion is locally in situ in everybody's heart. And the impersonal Brahman is the transcendental light. And he said about heat distributed everywhere by the Lord, by this transcendental form. and it's evidenced in the Bhagavad Gita, which specify, although it didn't say where in the Bhagavad Gita, but it specified the aim of searching the absolute truth is all we need to do is seek out God. Is the personal God, not the impersonal God. And he's saying here that, and if we as human beings, anyone, those who all only accept the absolute truth as Paramatma or Brahman feature, if we'd only stick to that, we as the absolute truth, we are, because we don't have the knowledge, we have a poor fund of knowledge. So the truth of the personality of God is again not manufactured. It is not concocted. It's genuine evidence from God himself from ancient time, and nobody could break that. And Prabhupada has actually given us the essence of it by taking the word from Krishna and translating in a way that we can understand it. In the Bhagavad Gita, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita, and so on. But those are the main books that we can focus on to find out the truth. And I think that's my point, sorry. So what Prabhupada is trying to do here, in my understanding, is that he's inviting people to check it out themselves, that he's not making it up. It's there written, and they can do some research if possible. And he's inviting the public and also scholars and religionists to do research in this and find out the truth themselves. So there's evidence to show that what Prabhupada is saying is the truth. And we've got a good backing to claim our Krishna consciousness movement. So he's also saying, it's not just whimsically skim over it. They're to carry out critical studies. And he encouraged Berkeley University as well to look at this godless society by partaking in the research as well. And he is also why are we doing all this? Why are we trying to help everybody? And Prabhupada is trying to save our name, is actually to help the public. He's not doing selfishly and retaliating. He's actually trying to help the confused, frustrated young generation, so we can have a society which is a happier society, and that we can enjoy the route to happiness, which is Krishna consciousness. So he's also going further to invite the guardians of the country to understand the transcendental movement, and also to give honest facilities to spread it for everyone's benefit. So what he's also pointing out near the end, that there's a new book called the Aisha Upanishad at the time when he wrote this letter. And in the Aisha Upanishad, which is ISO 16, there is a verse to confirm the thing about full fund of knowledge. And it says, Chintamani Prakrita Sanmasu Kalpa Vriksha Vriksha Lakshavriteshu Rabhi Palayantam Lakshmi Saharsra Sata Sambhrama Sevyama Nam Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. What is meaning is that impersonalist philosophers, blinded as they are by the dazzling Brahmajyoti, can realize neither the factual abode of the Lord nor his transcendental form. Limited by the poor fund of knowledge, such impersonalist thinkers cannot understand the all blissful transcendental form of the Lord Krishna. In this prayer, therefore, Sri Isar Upanishad petitioned the Lord to remove the effulgent rays of the Brahma Jyoti so that the pure devotee can see his all blissful transcendental form. Hare Krishna. That's what I gather from this letter, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so
There
much,
could be
Mataji.
more. There
Thank
could
you.
be more, and it goes on to say about the same. It tells you a little bit more, but anyway, that's what I picked up.
Thank you so much, Mataji. I have added so much of nectar to it. Any other points, dear devotees? You wanted to add further? Okay, so in this letter, Prabhupada mentions many people. So it was the period. If we say Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, like he said in the, we think people used to see strangely. So that was the conception. So no one could speak boldly that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one is equal to him. No one is above him. But Prabhupada has done this great thing. That bring the truths into the human society. It was there, it was covered by so much of speculations because it was created by all these swamis. So that is very good, powerful point. We understand. There are so many temples also Prabhupada mentions in India, but none of them they worship solely Krishna. They have got different worships for different desires. They're lost for their desires. Those are my takeaway points from this letter. Any other comments, dear devotees? Okay, so that is from Prabhupada's letter, and from the announcements point of view. So today evening we have got a preaching practice session with Saranya Mataji. And that is upcoming event. And today we have got 2 new devotees joined. I have shared this information, our Sangha information, there in the Bhagavad Gita as it is, that Sham Guruvar Prabhuji has started another group to invite all the new devotees there. So I shared that one. So possibly Dhiran and Catherine. So the 2 devotees who joined today, they might be from that group. Hope we will see them again in the future. I'll keep posting the information there. Okay, so that is from the announcements point of view. And dear devotees, if you have got any other updates or you wanted to share anything on Krishna consciousness, kindly share. Yes, if there are no further updates, then we shall conclude and continue with further japa. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो
Namo
नमः।
Namaha.
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
Ki
जय,
Jai.
प्रभुपाद की
Ki
जय।
Jai.
Have a Krishna conscious day, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री
Nityananda
अद्वैत
Shri
गदाधर
Bhakti
श्रीवासादि गौर